Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, May 27th. Happy Friday, everyone. It's 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick. Then we can get started with our session for today. All right, a few more things here to update. Yeah, looks like we're good. All right, a few more things right here. All right, looks solid. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium so that you guys can start joining. All right, cool. So link's been sent out. I'll give it a few minutes for people to make their way in. As people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and just draw up the areas of liquidity over here. All right, so I'm going to start off with the higher time frames real quick. Shouldn't take too long. There goes the daily, which I don't expect us to hit anytime soon. Go down to the 8-hour. Nothing there. Go down to the 4-hour. Nothing there. Go down to the 2-hour. Over to the 1-hour, and then the lower time frames from there. So there's actually a lot of liquidity on the bottom end. You can't really see it on certain time frames, but if you go from the higher ones to the lower ones, you can see them. They're a lot more prevalent. So a couple more right here. We actually have a lot of liquidity here on the bottom side. So I do see these probably getting knocked out at some point today. But we'll see where they end up going. So let's see, 15. All right, looks good for the most part. One more time frame right here. And I think we're good for the most part. Yeah, looks good. All right. So as you guys can see, we have a lot of liquidity here on the bottom end. I'll go over the overall bias shortly, but let me go ahead and see who's here right now. So let's check. All right, cool. Looks like Stern's here. Morning, Stern. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Marco. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Arash. Morning, Peter. Morning, David. Morning, Marlon. So happy Friday, everybody. Today is May 27th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the liquidity over here also on the 1 minute real quick before we get started. And then we will kick off our analysis for today as we close out this trading week. I did take one trade last night, guys. I was going to post it up, but I totally forgot. I just set and forget it. It was like a small little scalp for a sell yesterday. during Asia session. So I'll send that over to you guys later once we check out the breakout here. That's pretty much all I took yesterday, just one trade. Get these lower time frames right here. All right, that's good. That's good. A few more right here. All right, that's it for the 10. Some final touches right here. And down to the 1 minute. Right over here. All right, so looks pretty much good to go. Here is the 1 minute chart. As you guys can see again here, a lot of liquidity on the bottom end that hasn't been tested yet. It's more prevalent here on the 10 minute though. You can see it a lot more clear. There's a ton of liquidity here sitting, just waiting to be triggered. So looks like majority of people are in the room so far. So good morning, Shannon. Morning, Steven. Morning, Miles. Morning, Craig. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, let's take a look at the retail sentiment. So confirming overall bias, the retail sentiment is currently 51% long. So there's not really much of a bias. So this isn't going to be too much of a good use for us today. Looking over at the fundamentals are currently up 118 points. They're not up very strong. We'll have to see where it opens up to in the next 4 minutes, but it is bullish. So this is bullish. This is technically bearish. So there's a mix again with regard to overall bias. Looking over here at the heat map. Heat map over here is, let me refresh it one more time. It's currently all, for the most part, green. So we'll see what happens when the market does open in the next 4 minutes. But for the most part, again, there's no overall bias. So if you guys want to take the breakout, you guys can technically take it whichever direction. However, and you got to be really careful with which one you decide to take, because the bias here isn't very strong. Also, the bias on the fundamentals aren't very strong either. So there's no strong bias in either direction. It's just neutral all around. So we'll see what happens when the market fully opens shortly. AC, good morning. Morning, Matt. Morning, Craig. Morning, Miles. Morning, everybody. Morning, Christian. All right, guys. So looking over here, I have all of the liquidity pretty much marked up here on the 1 minute. I'm gonna go over here to the clean chart. I'm going to mark this up as well real quick. Just 1 minute. I'm not gonna go to the other time frames for this here. It's right here. All right. It's good for the most part. Not too much liquidity there on the clean chart. Let's see. I'm gonna check if there's news this morning as well. So today there was news at 5:30. It was core PCE, price index, good trade balance, personal income, personal spending, prelim wholesale inventories. It was a mixed batch right there, some positive, some negative. We also had Fed member Bullard speaking at 4:35. So 4:35 and 5:30, there was news. So 4:35. And 5:30. Five 30. There we go. Market's gonna open in about 38 seconds, guys. So let me just mark this up real quick. 4:35. and 5:30. All right, market is going to open in about 10 seconds, guys. So here's a breakout. As I mentioned, there's no overall bias. So if you guys wanted to take a trade here for the breakout, I mean, technically you can take it in either direction. It's just there's no bias. So it's hard to really determine which direction is a proper direction here. So we currently have a sell momentum. So if we get a strong red candle here, this would technically be the breakout. I'll mark it up for you guys. I'll let you guys know if I do plan on taking it or not. It just depends on how far it goes down, because we do have the news right here, news price and session. So if it gets too far below that, below this point, I'm probably not going to take it because it's just too risky of a move for me to hop into. You know, you got to keep in mind that there's still red flags here. So even if your requirements are met, there's still red flags. You don't want to trade in your news price. You want to trade in your sessions. So if and when I do decide to take, you know, any of these entries here, I'll probably take it for partial entries. For one, we don't have a bias, and for two, it's like right next to news price and sessions down here. But yeah, we don't have a bias today, just like yesterday. It's been a choppy week overall, so not really too surprised, but we'll see what we can get here. All right, so again, with this candle right here, if this candle closes as a strong red candle, meaning that there is a red candle with little to no wick on the bottom end, then this would technically be the breakout, but there's a lot of red flags here. It's going to be close to the news price. It's also, this candle's too big. So a lot of reasons why I wouldn't take the trade. If I do take it, I'll probably take it for a partial move, because even if we enter a trade anywhere down here, you can see that it can bounce off any of these points. You want to be very careful with taking any trades at this point. If I do enter it, I'll probably just enter for a partial move, because, you know, I could go for like 100 pips or so, get out, and not be caught in this area of manipulation down here. So still no entry yet, 6:32. We still have about 32, it's 6:32, so we have about 3 minutes until 6:35, where the cutoff happens for the breakout. Yeah, see, so it is Memorial Day weekend. So it's a long weekend for us. Typically long weekends like this are a bit tricky. Reason for that's because the market's gonna be closed on Monday. So you tend to get a lot of back and forth movement, because some people are trying to pull out for the weekend. A lot of people try to pull out a lot earlier. Sometimes volatility will be very low. You can see right here, it is pretty low right now. It's not that high. It's only been pushing up and down about like 480 pips, which is not really too much at all. And Biden is going to be speaking at 7 o'clock. Thanks, Kenny. All right, so good to know. So we got Kenny over there, our fake newscast over there. Thanks, Kenny. I didn't realize Biden was speaking today. So Biden is going to be speaking today, guys. He's going to be delivering commencement address at US Naval Academy. It's not necessarily, you know, economic event, so that's why it's not really advertised this as Biden speaking, but he's going to get political. Obviously, he's the president, so he's going to get political at the US Naval Academy, of course, whether we like it or not. So, see, this might be the breakout right here. See how it closes. But again, you know, same reasons for the red flags here. It's going to be like near the news price. So if I do take this, I'll probably take it for partial entry. I'm just going to go for like quick 100 pips here and there if it does close, but it doesn't look like it's going to close here. No. So it hasn't closed there. We need a strong red candle. So there can be very much of a wick on the bottom end. Again, right here, even bigger red flag. It's getting closer to these sessions below here. Sessions and news price. Still got about 45 seconds left on this. All right, let's see. If we don't get it on this candle, then it's probably not going to be a breakout today. But just a reminder, guys, if I take this trade, it's probably going to be for partial like a partial move, nothing too crazy, because I don't want to get caught in any bounce right here, because price might just bounce right off any of these points. We got about 10 seconds left. Doesn't look like it's going to close red. No. All right, so there goes that. No breakout today, it looks like. Actually, we still have one candle here, so we'll see this candle. If it doesn't close, then it's fine. Move on to the next one. The only problem here is that I don't think there's going to be a next one because there's no bias. You need to confirm bias for any of the variations. Retail sentiment here is starting to pick up on the long side, so it's indicating that we should look for some sells possibly. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I'll refresh this. It's currently below 100 points, so there's no bias here for a buy or for a sell really. It's still pretty neutral. This is neutral. This is neutral. Heat map over here is, I mean, it's pretty mixed. It's a mixed bag today. So there really isn't any bias today. It's Friday. It's the start of a long weekend. So, I mean, volatility might die down at some point. I think we have another news event coming up over here at 7 o'clock. Yeah. So we got another news event coming up at 7 o'clock. No entry for the breakout. Go ahead and close this right here. I'll keep marking up the areas of liquidity, but there's no breakout for today. I'm gonna mark up news at 7 o'clock, which is right there. All right, I'm gonna go over here to the clean chart, mark up a couple things. So opening price was right there. We'll color that blue. I do expect price to probably come back down to opening price. It's not too far from it. You can see price is pretty much just ranging between the areas. I'm gonna go and mark up the clean chart over here as well, just to identify the hours. So we got news there at 7, 8 o'clock. I'm gonna update the sessions real quick. And that's about it. So here's the clean chart. As you guys can see, there's not really much of a direction set here. Price is basically ranging back and forth between the this high and this low. Yeah, no, exactly. Steven said patience is key. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is at this point, guys. It's really waiting for a bias to really appear. It's hard to really determine, which direction to be trading in because there's no bias here with retail sentiment, which is like our main indicator here to identify, which direction to be trading. There's nothing right here. And then also for the fundamentals, these aren't strong either. It's up 100 points, but it's not really consistent. You can see that it kind of bounces above 100. And then when price comes back below, it goes below 100. Akil's asking, what is the cutoff point for a candle to be considered strong? So, I mean, I don't know if you know how to identify like strong candles, Akil, but like this is an example of a strong green candle, right? There's a big green body, little to no wick on the top side. That's considered a strong green candle. A strong red candle is the same thing in the opposite direction. So if you have a strong red candle right here, the body's big, wick small. This is considered a strong red candle right here. So, I mean, it's subjective. There's not really a cutoff. I don't know what you mean by cutoff, but there's no, you can kind of just eyeball it, right? Like, for example, if you're measuring the wick, measuring the body of the candle, like for example, right here, this right here is a weak red candle, right? It's 150 pips for the body, and the wick here is almost half the body. It's more than half the body. It's 120 pips. So this is considered a weak candle. So I'm not really sure like what your question is regarding, what's the cutoff? Because there isn't really a cutoff. It's it's subjective, but you can kind of determine what's considered strong and what's considered not. Like this candle right here, the most recent green candle right here, this is considered a strong green candle. Huge wick, huge body, little wick on top. So that's an example of what would be a strong or weak candle. You're basically just looking at the wicks and you're comparing it to the size of the body of the candle. If it's really big, then it's not a strong candle. If it's somewhat big, still not a strong candle. If there's little to no wick, then it's a strong candle. Yeah, no problem, Akil. All right, so back to the charts over here. You can see the liquidity here got hit. Now it's coming back down. I'll just clean this up a little bit. I'm not looking for any buys anyways, and it's right at the sessions as well. So it came up, broke right through it, and then it's now pushing up slightly higher. Yeah, Matthew said we need a catalyst, and that would be news for price to tank speculation. I agree. At 7 o'clock, right? That's what I'm kind of waiting for right here. At 7 o'clock, we have news coming up. The news is going to be a revised UOM consumer sentiment. That'll probably push price one way or the other. It'll either push price lower or push price higher. But for now, that's pretty much all that we have. You can see right here, liquidity got hit, pushed up even higher. These are my favorite moves, these liquidity pushes, but I like taking them in the direction of bias. When there's no bias, it's kind of hard to really determine which, which area to take. You can see a fake out right here, price pushed up and it comes back down at this point over here. All right. Hey, Fahad. Good to see you back, bro. I haven't seen you in a while. Spend a lot of money, makes more. Yeah, no, definitely, Fahad. Glad to see you back here. Arash is asking, was a pivot entry, if I'm wrong, accept the sentiment on the 1 minute? Yeah, there was a pivot scalp entry right here. However, there's no bias. So if you wanted to take the pivot scalp, you needed to confirm the overall bias. There's no overall bias. You can't move on to the next step. But yeah, if there was an overall bias here for a buy, then this would technically be a pivot scalp for a buy right here, because it's a momentum. It's a valid momentum signal for a buy, and it was above the pivots. So yeah, it's going to be kind of difficult to look for entries here because I don't think we're going to have an overall bias. So we'll have to wait and see, but it looks like the sentiment is starting to build up. Sentiment is now 54% long, which is cool. A lot of people are starting to bandwagon onto those buys there. There's actually a V3 right here as well. So I don't know if you guys spotted this. There's a V3 right here. But again, there's no bias, so it's hard for us to really take any trades in that direction. So there was a variation V3 right there. A couple red flags was right at the sessions. Also, there was there's no bias with regard to the sell. So we wouldn't have taken the sell either way, unfortunately. Yeah, it was right at the sessions too, Maddie. So no entry there. I mean, if you were to avoid, if you're to ignore certain requirements, I know some people do, you would have taken the trade there, but a couple of red flags here. Was right at the sessions. Candle is also kind of big. But the main thing here is that there's no bias. In a lot of instances, there can be a bias and this could still be in place and the trade will still hit. So you definitely want to trade where the bias is strong. There's just no bias right now. So there's nothing for us to take. In order for us to get a sell bias, we need this number to be a bit higher, above 60%, above 70%, ideally. And we need this here to be red below 100 points as well to confirm the overall bias for a sell. This right here is indicating a buy, while this over here is indicating a sell. So if there's a conflict right there, there's no bias, right? It's just neutral, because this will just, so this says sell, this says to buy. it's basically just canceling each other out. So if this says to buy and this says to sell, what do you do, right? There's just no direction to really be trading it. So that's probably what you'll see today. You'll probably see a lot of back and forth movement, not really anything too smooth, because there just isn't no direction in the market. So keep watching here. You can see prices ranging. You guys have probably seen this pattern come up a lot this week. Price will just range between a session. Right here, it's pretty much just ranging sideways. And then it'll probably just squeeze a little bit. As it squeezes, it's preparing for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. That's basically which direction we don't really have a direction, but this is kind of what we anticipate happening because it's a typical pattern. The same pattern has played out every day this week. Price will just range and consolidate around a session, which right here would be the New York high. And it'll just keep going sideways for a bit until it decides to break out. So, and I don't trade around the session, so it wouldn't make a difference for me. But I'll keep updating these areas of liquidity right here. So let me go over here real quick and move this stuff. So you can see it a lot better here on the clean chart. The clean chart's a bit more obvious. Price opened right here, had that bullish push. Now it's going into consolidation. The next phase after consolidation is another push in either direction, whether it be bullish or whether it be bearish. But right now it is ranging and consolidating within these two highs and lows. Here's the 10-minute. 10-minute got knocked out, so I'm gonna have to update this right here as well. Yeah, this market is kind of slow. It's slow, but it was expected because of the holiday. It's moving like less than 500 pips. I think this news will probably be catalyst though, just like Matt was discussing earlier. Steeler fan is asking, without a bias, do you think trading within the range high and lows can be done successfully, or is it too high risk? It can be done, and there's a lot of people who actually do that, but I do find it to be risky because the thing is, you don't know when price is going to finally break out, right? You could trade within the range. Like for example, right here, if you're trading within this range right here and you took a buy, great. But if you were in a sell and it just breaks out all of a sudden, you're out of luck. So I personally wouldn't do it. I know a lot of people here do it. It's a little bit of luck. It's a little bit of ability to just get in and out really quickly. But this range here is too small. So if you're going for these quick moves, you have to be in and out like really quick. But there you go with the breakout. So this here is a clear example of like why I wouldn't trade in the range. Because the thing is, I was probably gonna be looking for a sell, but it broke out to the upside. Yeah, there was a triple confluence right here, as B just mentioned. I totally missed it too. It happened way too fast. And one thing, guys, if you guys missed the trade, don't FOMO into it because you're going to have this retracement here. But yeah, this was a triple confluence right here. It was also a pivot scalp, which is within a triple confluence. A pivot scalp is just basically one of the strategies that are within the triple confluence. It's a pivot scalp. It's also a high-low scalp, and it's also a intraday entry on the scalp side. So it's just three strategies in one. But it happened way too fast. It literally pushed above there and then it closed, and then that was the buy right there. If you guys are not familiar with that strategy, you can learn it on the website. It's just three strategies in one. So triple confluence right here, confirm the overall bias. Again, we can't really confirm that. So with that said, it's going to be hard for us to really confirm that. But if you skip that step and you look at the other requirements here, confirm a valid K2 momentum signal. There's a valid buy signal right here. Confirm the signal matches the trend meter is green. Confirm prices above the K2 pivots for a buy or a sell. It's above here for a buy. And lastly, you want to confirm it's breaking and closing past the K2 high low. So broken close past it right here, provided for an entry here for triple confluence. So that is how that would have been identified. But yeah, that is the triple confluence entry right there. Matt T said, take a speculative buy. I'm done for the day. See y'all next week. Have a great one. Nice, nice. Yeah, so a lot of you guys here actually caught it. So that's pretty solid. I'll send in my profits from yesterday just so that you guys have a record of it. So here's the trade I took last night during Asia. I was going to post it yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to post it up. So yeah, right here, this is my trade. So there's mine right there. I'm trying to catch another one though. Oh, whoops. I do that. As usual, today is Friday, so Friday you probably want to be a bit careful. We'll see if we can find something, but I'll be extra careful today. So I see everyone's profits over here. I'll take a look at them shortly. Good. All right. So let me take a look over here real quick. Lisa over here, she said closing out at 5K, flights catching 6 hours, have fab weekend also. Definitely Lisa. Lisa's trading during Asia session, London session, and this morning. A total profit of 5,125 for the day. Nice work, Lisa. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else over here real quick. Harry over here sent in his profits as well. He took the buy earlier, locked in a profit of 4,280. Nice work, Harry. Let me just copy these over real quick too. Here, let's see. We got one more profit here from Ed. Ed said, thanks, Sean. I'm done for the day. Back to my day job. 3.9% on my demo account. Caught the V3 in the London session, and I traded mostly upswing this morning. See you on Monday. Definitely, Ed. So Ed over here locked in a total of 4,086 for the day. He took a couple of trades here during London, and he took the rest of these trades here during New York session. So nice work right there, Ed. Sorry, guys, 1 second. All right, other than that, let's see. We have Milzon over here. Milzon took the buy earlier as well, locked in a total of 2,340. Nice work, Milzon, off that account. His second account locked in 1,245. So another great trade right there. And then his last account over here, a total profit of 995 is a green strip. So we let his trade there hit TP, which is it's a good idea. So you don't get greedy and you also don't hold on to a trade for too long. Let me just clean this up a little bit right here. Still waiting for a bias to present itself. The problem with this here is that price keeps pushing up. And as price pushes up, the retail sentiment goes up as well. And then the problem with that is that the fundamentals go up as well. So it just becomes a wider neutral bias, because this is very bullish and then this is indicating the opposite. It just makes it wider. I was hoping it would come down so that the fundamentals would drop back lower. And then when it did drop back lower, it would be in line with the retail sentiment. But there's no confirmation of that happening just yet. I mean, it might happen eventually, maybe later today, but right now it's just not happening, obviously. Nice. Pat said without a strong bias, just trailed stop loss in this current 10-minute snipe for 2K. Nice, Patrick. So let's see. Patrick was taking the 10-minute over here. He took a snipe over here off this. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty solid. So we took it right here. It's a pretty clean entry. For the 10-minute, if you guys still want to trade without a bias, the 10-minute still provides a lot of good entries. So just FYI, if you guys are still looking to take entries here, and this is probably where we're going to stick for the rest of the session because we don't have an overall bias. We have to stick on the 10-minute anyways. But yeah, it looks like Patrick over here caught this trade. There was a snipe that happened right here. If you guys are not familiar with the snipe strategy, it was right off this candle right here. K2 snipe strategy on the 10-minute. Basically, you want to confirm overall bias. You can't really confirm it here, but I do trade on the 10-minute. So last night when I took this trade right here, this sell, I took this on the 10-minute because since it's on a higher time frame, the bias isn't as necessary. It's still necessary, but it's not as necessary because these are such bigger candles and you get a bigger move. So for the 10-minute over here, for the first requirement, we're just going to assume that it was bullish. The main factor for that would be the fundamentals here, which is up 239 points, plus the technicals here are also bullish. Trend meter is green and price is above the pivots. So with that said, you can kind of assume that it is bullish. However, the retail sentiment doesn't align, so it does make it a bit neutral. You confirm a wick rejection off the K2 pivot, which is right here. You confirm wick rejection off the K2 SR zone, which is right here. Confirm wick rejection off the K2 pivot does not touch the candle body. The body's up here, pivot's down here, completely fine. And you confirm that you're trading in the direction of momentum. Okay, so this is one thing here that your last confirmation. This candle right here was a buy signal. So it pretty much lined everything up. And that's why Patrick took this here for a buy. And you can see that it hit full TP right there. So that's that pretty much. Nice. Jennifer took the snipe too. So nice work, guys. And this is also the daily entry. So over here on the 10-minute, this is the snipe entry. It's also the daily entry as well. So it's still technically running even higher to that point right there. I wouldn't necessarily chase it, especially not at this point because it's super overextended. You guys can see here on the 1 minute, it's pushed up way too high. It's due for a retracement of some sort, at least, before I can continue pushing up higher, if and when it does. So I would be careful if you guys do decide to take any of this here. And we do have news coming up shortly. Just keep that in mind. Thanks, guys, for reminding us, Bahad. We do have news coming up right here in about 2 minutes. Yeah, Jennifer, that was valid. For this snipe strategy, it's okay if the momentum is like on the candle because you just want to trade in the direction of momentum. So that's fine for that specific strategy. Yeah, Bethany said, if you scalp in the range with your trend meter on the same as chart, then just take buys on your scalps and it works great. Yeah, exactly, Bethany. So like the thing is, if you guys can't confirm overall bias, your second best thing would be fundamentals and the trend meter, right? That's the other thing. So like right now, we don't have a retail sentiment to confirm it. So if you really wanted to trade, you can still trade for buys here because the fundamentals are up very bullish. They're up 246 points. Heat map over here is pretty green overall. And the technicals over here are indicating a buy. So you could technically still take trades here. It's just if you want a strong overall bias, like if you want to make sure that your trade's going to hit, then you want to make sure the retail sentiment is aligned with it. It's not aligned with it right now, so it's still technically bullish. It's just not a strong bias. It's a bullish bias, but it's not strong. It's not considered strong. So that's the difference there. So news is coming up shortly. Let's see what news has in store for us as price starts to push around at this point. Clean up the chart markup over here. All right, so price is now ranging. As you guys can see, it broke above. So if you guys remember our analysis from earlier this morning, we had a bullish push right here. Consolidation, bullish push right here. Back into consolidation. Just keep that in mind, guys. And then we have news right here as well. So here goes the news here at 7 o'clock. Let's see if and where this price, if this pushes price. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark up news price as soon as this closes. All right, so there goes news price. Go ahead and see if news was negative. I think it was. And it was. So it was negative. Price did push down a little bit. This might be the catalyst to bring price back down to open over here. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. If price does make its way back down, if price comes down and hits this area of liquidity, then I'll write it down to open. Yeah. But if it bounces around this area, then, I'm not really expecting much. I just need price to get down to this area of liquidity below here. It's gonna be what's key. Again, price is now ranging between the news price, just like it did yesterday. No real direction right now. It's just consolidating and ranging around that area. Let's see what we got. So basically now we're just waiting for it to choose a direction. It's now consolidating right here and ranging. It's going to do the same thing it did down here, right? So price is pushing and ranging around the sessions, and then it broke to the upside. Same with this right here. Price is going to be ranging on this point. It's either going to break to the upside or it's going to break to the downside. That's kind of what we're looking for and waiting for at this moment. There's nothing for us to take right now. I don't see any entries on my chart. There was technically another V3 right here that could have came up, but there's no bias, as we mentioned earlier. So another V3 right there, technically, if you want to consider it that. But no bias. V3 and a V1 actually, or no V1 right there. Let me see, or into V1. No V1, or there was a V1 for a buy right there. That's what it was. Yeah, gotcha. Or actually, no V1 for a buy because you need a pending momentum in that direction, all right? So for the V1 over here, you need the pending momentum. The momentum for that's already a bullish right there because you have the buy signal. So it wouldn't necessarily fit. Yeah, no, I guess you did get lucky, Ryan, but I'm glad it worked out for you. I mean, it's easy to get lucky, right? Trading is all like mental game, guys. Like I always try to remind you guys, it is all mental. Like the strategy is like a good portion of like your ability to succeed, but it's really trade psychology. If you really believe a trade's going to hit, and for the most part, majority of the requirements line up, it's probably going to hit. It just depends on how you feel about a trade. So Orion took that buy there for a V1. It wasn't a, it wasn't a fully complete V1, but he believed it was going to hit. He took it and it hit. So it's all about your confidence about the trade. Another reason why I wouldn't take the trade though is because it's right at news price. So just a lot of red flags here. The red flags are just meant for you guys to be able to understand and identify quality entries. Anyone could literally take any trade and you can get lucky at some point, but you know how far till that luck runs out. So like for me, I don't like taking risky trades where I can get lucky, which you know could possibly happen because the strategies still have a pretty high win rate, even if you disregard a couple of requirements. But I put those extra requirements in there for a reason so that you don't suffer any losses. Because that's like the worst thing, right? If you guys eat loss after loss, then you'll end up in a hole. So if you are able to avoid them, like losses as much as possible, that's really the key thing. It's consistency. The range is getting tighter though. T-bands are breaking below here. One second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, so back on the charts, not really much going on here. Same old. Price started to make its way down a little bit, so I'll just push that lower. Yeah, there's not really much going on. The market's kind of dead right now. I think we'll probably get like a big sell-off later today during like towards the close. I'm looking here on the 1 minute and there's a huge gap right here, like this whole gap from opening. So market open right here. I do think price is going to come back down because this is a huge gap of price that it wasn't really, you didn't really have reason for it to be up that high, right? So it's going to probably drop down maybe about 1,600 pips or so. B's asking if I would take this 10-minute V3. Let's see where the session's at. I don't know. Let's see. Probably not. Mainly because there's really no bias for sell. So probably not. Looks kind of small too for a 10-minute. All right, Jennifer, we'll see. So Jennifer said, heading out. Thanks, Sean. Enjoy the extended weekend. Definitely, Jennifer. So we'll see you then. Guys, just a reminder, Monday is going to be a holiday for us in the US. So we're not going to be trading on Monday. US30 is going to be closed. It's Memorial Day weekend. So no live session on Monday. We'll pick back up on Tuesday. So if some of you guys are calling it a week already, have a great weekend, guys. And I'll see you guys on Monday. However, it's still a bit early in the session, so I'll be on here looking for trades if I could see anything. There goes the V3 that we were just talking about right now. It's a bit of a risky move, but actually it's a really risky move because the fundamentals are still very bullish. But I do think price is probably going to come back down and fill that area below there. So we'll see, but I'm not looking to take that V3 right there at all. Yeah, and Maddie said going against 10-minute daily as well. Yeah, there's just conflicting trades. I don't like trading conflicting trades at all. It just doesn't, because the thing is you're kind of going against the strategy, which could happen because you could have the move within the move, but I personally don't like trading that way. D said my Wi-Fi just went down. I think it's the trading gods telling me to leave with my profit for the day. So I'm going to do that. See you all on Tuesday. Yeah, definitely. D. We'll see you then. Yeah, exactly. Tuesday, right? I keep forgetting it's a holiday. So here's an FYI. Like on Monday, guys, I know it's going to be a holiday and the market's going to be moving partially in the morning, but I don't recommend trading. That's how I lost like 2 of my FTMO accounts in the past because I traded on a holiday because I was too impatient. I FOMOed into a move, and then I ended up getting caught and the market closed. When the market closed, that counted as a weekend trade because the market was closed for like a full day. And then I ended up losing, I think, like 2 of my FTMO accounts. There were 2 separate times when it happened. I didn't learn the first time. The second time I understood, and I don't even trade during news anymore. So if you guys do trade, don't trade don't trade the New York session because it's going to close like halfway through the session. Yeah, Maddie said gonna call it a week. See you guys. See you tomorrow. Yeah, Tommy, I'll see you tomorrow at Akina's birthday party, or Akina's kid's birthday party. See you there, Tommy. Let's see if there's anything else over here. It's just nothing for us to take, man. It sucks. I wanted to take at least one more trade today, but it's just it's not feeling it right now. Because the thing is, the daily is still technically running. I don't want to go against the daily. Oh, there is like pullback for the daily. It's just I wouldn't want to go against it. How far is this from that? And this is what I mean, guys. So it's the trade within a trade. Like technically there could be a V3 that can hit TP. It'll just retrace out of the daily, and then it'll just swing right back up after that. So there's nothing for us to look at right now. Let me take a look at the chat real quick. So let's see, we got Dre over here. Dre over here locked in a total of 975. He was trading the NASDAQ. Nice. So nice work right there, Dre. As you guys can see, there's liquidity building up right here. If price pushes above there, I might be inclined to take a liquidity push to the upside, just like a slight one, because I do possibly see it pushing, at least 100 pips. So I'll keep watching that right there if I see it push up high enough. But the one thing you want to be careful for is the news price right here, this pink line, which will, obviously make it a little risky. So yeah, Kevin said, I haven't taken any trades yet. I think I'm good for the day. I'm going to take my profits for the month and chill until June. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yeah, definitely, Kevin. I would definitely do that, man. You're up like super heavy on that account. So I'd probably just sit tight and leave with your profits. So let's see this right here. Yeah, it could be a triple confluence if it closes with that buy signal. Let's see where it goes from here. It did hit that area of liquidity. Let's see if I can maybe make my way in somehow. Maybe for the retest. See right there. See if it pushes higher. A little higher there. And this volatility is kind of going back and forth. Yeah, if you get that triple confluence, that'd be pretty nice. So let's see. Trying to get these optimal entry here, but the volatility keeps pushing it back and forth. Yeah. There are sessions above there too. See where currently is at. We'll see where this goes. It just keeps bouncing around that area right there. I was trying to wait for it to push up to the next level, and I'm just gonna close out. There you go, I pulled out. So I was trying to, if you guys remembered right here, I could have held it to full TP, but I was just not feeling it. I tried to make the entry right here. I mentioned when price comes up to this point, I was gonna try to catch the liquidity push. It pulled back a little bit, and then right here, it came for the retest. That's what I was looking for the entry. As soon as it got to this point, I took the buy. You know, it's kind of where I got a little quiet because I was kind of focusing on the trade. And then I just had to pull out of the trades. It was just locked in 790. Actually hit my TP. There's some slippage there. So I tried to pull out early like you, Maddie, because Maddie said I pulled early too, triple confluence, huge candle. I was trying to pull out early, but it ended up hitting my TP, but there was slippage. So instead of 1,000, it only gave me 790. So if you guys are not familiar with these liquidity pushes right here, or these trades where we take liquidity, watch the mentoring session from last week, not this week, but last week. So if you go over here to, oh, dude, I just realized Biden is speaking, or he's supposed to. And Biden's late again. No surprise. Biden was supposed to speak at 7. It's now 7:17. So he's 17 minutes late. That is what it is. Yeah. Sam said, I did the same thing, didn't like it. Yeah, no, same here, Sam. I was gonna hold it to full TP, but then it just you know, it just kept bouncing back and forth. I didn't like the way it was moving. 19's asking, where's Kamala Harris? Is she still VP? I think she is. I haven't seen her in a long time, but you're right. I haven't seen her. She's probably traveling around a lot, especially you know, to meet with the stuff going on with the Ukraine war. She's probably like just not there. But I haven't seen her in a while. She's usually on screen, but I don't see her, and I haven't seen her in a good month or so. Bethany said, as soon as he opens his mouth, it will tank, and I agree with you too, Bethany. I could see that happening for sure. Right. All right, so let's see. Let me take a screenshot of my profits real quick. So Patrick over here, he locked in a total of, sorry guys, 1 second. Man, this cold hasn't gone away. I had this lingering cold since like the Vegas trip. So I've been having this cold for like 3 weeks. I'm hoping it'll go away by like next week, but we'll see anyways. Patrick over here, he said he's done for the day. Locked in a total of 3,672. Nice work right there, Patrick. Joshua over here, he said, done massive profit today. Joshua had a pretty decent morning, and then he had one kind of big loss, which pretty much just wiped out majority of his profits, but he bounced back right here slightly to lock in a total of 67 cents for the day. So nice work, Joshua. I mean, the main key here is that you need the recovery, right? So you recover that from that loss, and this might be your hint to call it a day. Maddie over here as well. Maddie locked in a total of, I don't know what happened to your other account here, Maddie. It looks like some slippage, but your first account, you locked in 207. Your second account, you locked in 1,000. And then your third account, oh, penny trades. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So Maddie just opened and closed this because he's done with his challenge. He just wants to pass the days and then get funded. So it's all good. Yeah, run the days up. Hugo over here as well. Nice work, Hugo. Looks like you took this for a pretty good move. You held this since 6:30. So since market open over here, you held it for a buy. You lock in a total of 9,557. So amazing work right there, Hugo. Yeah, you held that. You can see the timestamp there. You held it since 6:30. So from 6:30, basically from opening price. So Hugo held this trade from 6:30 right here up until this point. Solid work right there. That's one thing that I'm starting to I'm thinking about maybe doing, opening like a YOLO account, and I'll just take a direction, right? Like say for example, we have our fundamentals. Say that our overall bias is very strong for a sell. I'll just take a sell and I'll just take it for a big TP stop loss and I'll just ride it in that direction on open. So I might do something like that with like one of my, I have to make another account somehow and I'll just let that run. Maybe a TFF because I can pass that within a day. So if I can take like 1 or 2 good trades, I could just let that thing run. So here's the daily right here, guys. The daily is still running. Oh, what's wrong with it? I can't even take this one off. But yeah, the daily here is still running right now, guys. Still running in profit. This is the reason why I was okay with taking the buy here. So with this this liquidity push that we took earlier over here, the reason why I was okay with taking the buy is because I knew that the daily was running in that direction. So if the daily was running over here, let me put on this chart actually, because this is the daily chart markup right here. I typically use the daily as like a direction. So like if we don't have an overall bias, the daily will show you where price is likely to go because the daily is a pretty high probability strategy. And if it's for a buy and it's still running, you know, you're probably going to expect to catch some decent buys along the way. So yes, the daily is still running right here. It's still in profit. It's looking okay for the most part. But other than that, I don't see anything else right now. Let's see. No, don't do TFF, Brian. I'm just gonna stop you right there. Brian's asking what's TFF about. It's like FTO. It is, but don't do it. They're a new company. They're not very reliable. Like I passed TFF within like a couple of days because they don't have a minimum day requirement. And they do that. Like a lot of people don't realize this, but TFF does that to lure in like the shittier traders, right? Because if you have that gambling mindset and you want to pass your challenge within a day, you can't like be patient enough to wait 10 days for FTMO. You're just gambling, right? Because you're trying to make those big wins like right away. So TFF, their demographics are usually gamblers, right? They try to basically market to a lot of traders who aren't really that good long term. They might get lucky here and there and they can pass their challenge. But once they get funded, they blow the account because they're not consistent. Like they just keep trying to go for those lucky trades. So I don't really like TFF at all. I've used TFF. They never like fix the issues. And yeah, they never fixed the issues. They never even responded to my email. They were supposed to respond to my email with the issues of the spread and slippage and stuff like that back then. And they never even responded. So I can't endorse them. If I want to gamble, yeah, I'll play with their accounts, but I'm not going to, I can't tell anyone to use their platform. Rick said it's not 10 for FTMO, it's 20. Then you have to wait a month to get paid, LOL. Yeah, but I'd rather stick with FTMO. I mean, there's a reason why I've been consistent with FTMO for all this time. It's just it's a better experience, better spread, better execution, better everything, really. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Rick. Yeah, FTMO is the gold standard, but if you want to have fun, you know, go open a TFF account because you could, I mean, you could literally get funded right away, and then, but don't expect to like have it being a smooth process because I know they're still working a lot of things. Scrolling up real quick, let's see. Kenny said, "Hey Sean, try some moonshine and tea with tea and some honey, and you should be good." Sounds like a plan, Kenny. I have to get that for the next live session. Anything else over here? Gosh, yeah, B said 14 days now, I think, to get paid. Arash said TFF makes the fake payment in their Discord channel. Yeah, I got out of the TFF. I was in the TFF Discord channel for a while just to like basically let the customer service know that they weren't doing a good job. And that channel is super toxic. I don't know if you guys have been on it. I know Rick's on. I've seen Rick on it before, and I've seen Jennifer. It's just people arguing in that chat like all day. So I don't really join any other. I'm not in any other chats aside from the KT ones, aside from other ones that I've been put into. Yeah, Maddie said MFF deal payout is not too bad once you have it set up. Yeah, I think the first payout took a while, but after that, it's the same process, so it's not too difficult to get payouts from it. It's just that first one. It's the same with FTMO. If you get your first payout with FTMO, it could take up to like 14 days, but now it happens like after a day or so, like a day or maybe even 2 days. Kill's asking, is my forex fund funded good? They're all right. They're probably like the number 2 funding company, but you should always do FTMO first. Because I've been using FTMO for a while now, and I hadn't had issues with them. So that's the only one that I could recommend to you guys. I was thinking about opening up another personal account, but I haven't. I don't even know what's a good broker anymore. I don't know if Hugo's Way is even still good to use, or if there's other good ones out there. But Osprey. Thanks, Bethany. I'll keep that in mind. Put that in my notes. I've heard other people use Osprey before, so I'll check that out. Nice. Yeah, and Bethany said I didn't have MFF like them. Nice, sounds about right. Yeah, I like MFF. They're just I mean, they're better now. They were kind of crappy before with their customer service, but they've gotten a lot better over the past year or so. Send it over to Rick's Way. Rick's Way, send payments to my Telegram, right? Sending some Apple Pay right now. Right. All right, guys. So price is now back into consolidation. As you guys can see earlier, it's been ranging this whole time. Basically, this whole period right here has just been a range. So this whole area right here is a range. Price hasn't really moved very much. Price is ranging right here. It dropped, range, pushed up, range, pushed up higher, back into the range. It's just ranging right here around like news price. And then it's just getting tighter as price continues to move along. The 10-minute over here is still running in profit, the daily entry. It's like halfway there. There's no daily yesterday, but the one before yesterday was full TP, and this one over here is still running towards TP. Going over here to the retail sentiment, let me refresh this. Retail sentiment is currently 52% long, 48% short. It's neutral. There's no real bias there with regards to retail sentiment. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 257 points. Here at the heat map right now, everything's pretty much all green, aside from United Health, which is down 5 points. Everything else is very green, especially the big market cap stocks like Apple's up 4 points, Microsoft up 5 points, Visa up 2.46 points, Disney currently up 2.21 points as well. So looking at the fundamentals here, it's pretty bullish. So I'd be very wary of taking any sells. I do think price will eventually come back down a bit, like at some point today, but not anytime soon. I think price will just keep consolidating, maybe continue to climb its way up, and then eventually it'll drop back down towards the end of the session. The reason why I think oh man, this cold is so annoying. Sorry guys. If I get quiet, if I like just stop talking all of a sudden, it's because I have to cough. Hopefully this cold goes away by next week. had this cold for too long. But anyways, back to my analysis earlier. The reason why I think price is going to come back down, possibly to opening price over here, is because a lot of people are going to sell off for the weekend. The sell-off is already starting to happen right here. The reason why people want to sell off for the weekend is because it's a long weekend. Markets close on Monday, so people don't want their money sitting in the market from like Friday until Monday, because anything could happen over the weekend, right? Like some update in Ukraine can happen over the weekend, and that'll cause price to either tank or price to continue pushing up. There's a lot of stuff that can happen over a long weekend, especially a holiday weekend like Memorial Day weekend, because I'm sure Biden will be speaking on Monday, which I'm pretty sure he's going to speak because it's Memorial Day weekend. He's going to have to speak on Monday. So when Biden does speak, that can cause price to go one way or the other, tank or go up. So for the most part, people would rather just close out of their positions so that they don't have to worry about that. When people close out of their positions, the sells stack up, and it just causes volatility to push to the downside. So that's why for the most part, I would expect this to come down at least to maybe like opening price over here, or even down to the sessions. Rick said, I thought you died for a second. Yeah, 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta blow this out. This cold's getting on my nerves. All right, I'm back. So I don't think I screenshotted my profits yet. Let me go and just screenshot that real quick. All right, not too bad. I know, right, Rick? Rick says, so much for taking all that healthy shit all day, every day, huh? Man, these stupid vitamins didn't even help me this time. Unless I caught the Rona, right? Coronavirus. Man, I haven't heard anything about coronavirus in a while. It's now it's all about the monkeypox. Rick is gonna be caught with that. Don't let us catch you with that monkeypox, Rick. Yeah, I know the corona is still out there. All jokes aside, it's still out there. It's just not as publicized as it was before. And monkeypox is what throws me off, though. It's like, man, we have another thing coming. We literally just kind of got over coronavirus. The problem with coronavirus is that there's going to be mutations, obviously, for within everybody who just survived it. But it is what it is. Yeah, if we have another crazy thing like that happen in the world, I'm gonna be more prepared, because last year, a couple years ago, when it was big here and we were trading, we actually like missed out on a lot of big moves because we were just too scared to trade. But the people who weren't scared, well, I mean, we weren't that scared, but we were a little more careful. If we traded a little more wild, we could have made a ton of profit during coronavirus, because like literally you could take sells and you don't even have to think. You could just take a sell and just let your computer, like leave your computer alone, and you literally like win every single trade. But anyways, here are my profits off that buy I took earlier. So here's my first account. You can see the green strip. This is my main account. I locked in 790, total profit of 1,794. My copier over here made 590, total profit of 1,394. My MFF copier, or my main MFF, I made 900 off that, total profit of 1,930. My second account, same thing, 1,930. My third account, some slippage there, made 800. So I made a total profit of 1,830. So solid. So, And it looks like we have a couple more profits here as well to look over. So let me see this real quick. And if you guys have any profit to send in, feel free. I'll add them to the list for the profit post later today. So we have Andreas over here sending his profits. He took that buy that we took earlier. He locked in a total of 172. Nice profit for the day. Andreas, copy these over as well. And I think that's it for it right there. Actually, let me see. There's more profits right here. Actually, go down here to this chat and see. We have oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are probably fake ones. Arash. But Brian over here sending his profits. He said he took a fat L this early morning. He needed to limit those. So he took a loss right here in the morning. This is before the live session. So he took that like really early in the morning. And then he came back on the live over here and made it right back. So he changed his bias here to a buy. Pretty much took a whole bunch of buys here, locked in a total profit of 1,825. Nice work, Brian. A nice recovery off that loss. That's the key thing there. It's really based off the based off your ability to bounce back from a loss like that. All right, just updated the zones right there. Let me scroll up real quick and see what I'm missing. Sorry guys, let me scroll up real quick. Question from B. B said I got to make 1.2K today for an extension. Any recommendations what I should take? How far are you in your, or like how much profit do you have in your account, B? Because I personally wouldn't risk it if like you can get a free retry. It's Friday today, so today's not really a good day to take crazy risks, especially with like how prices moving. We don't have an overall bias, so I can't tell you like, okay, look for the next V1 or V2 or V3 sell, right? Because there's no bias here. This is neutral. This is bullish. And if you look at the chart here, I wouldn't take any buys even though it's bullish. So I don't think it's really a good idea to take anything too risky today. I would probably stick to the 10-minute. And if you see anything good here, then yeah, possibly on the 10-minute, this is probably going to be your best bet to find a trade moving the direction that you're looking for. Probably a buy entry if you can find a buy entry here off the 10-minute, not off the 1, because this is obviously coming down right now. So I wouldn't go against it. It's also at news price, so it's not necessarily. I wouldn't say it's a good idea to trade on the 1, because here's the thing: like we have some conflicting analysis here. Like for example, for the daily over here, this is still a bullish move, right? So if you're looking at the daily, you're looking for a buy. However, as I mentioned earlier, it's Friday, so people are going to sell off. The thing is, you don't know when they're going to sell off. Not just people, but institutions, banks, et cetera. The big whales, everybody's going to sell off today. So the thing is, you're basically playing chicken with the market. It's like, okay, who's going to who is price going to go up higher, or is price going to just dump? Because the last thing you want to do is you take a trade and then you end up losing more than you should. And then you end up not even getting a free retry, right? So I would personally just go with the free retry unless you're like really high and you have leeway. And if you do have leeway, I would make sure to set a stop loss far enough where you won't go below your positive equity. Because if you want to try, you can try, but you still got to like make sure that you don't blow your account trying to try, right? So that's probably going to be the main thing. Oh gosh, okay, yeah. B said I'm up heavy. Just need you need it for the bonus days. Yeah, and I agree. Akil, we're not gonna go over any trades today. We're going, if you want me to go over stuff like that, save it for the mentoring session. These live sessions aren't meant to train you guys. This is not a training session. This is a live trading session. So we're just trading live here. If you guys have questions and you want me to cover something specific, like, because the thing is, if I go and review the trade from yesterday, I had to go and rewind the chart. If I rewind the chart and I miss a good trade, I'm gonna be pretty pissed, right? I'm pretty sure everyone here is gonna be pretty pissed because we're gonna miss the trade because you wanted to review something from yesterday. So these are live sessions. The live trading sessions are meant for live trading. The mentoring sessions is just for, that's where you can ask actual questions, because we don't want to go off chart here and then go back and then all of a sudden we miss the trade and everyone's like, man, Akil, like everyone's going to be mad at you because they missed the trade because you wanted to go back and review. So just save it for the mentoring session next week, Akil. Write down the question and then attend the mentoring session for next week. For here, we just focus on live trades. If there's like a quick question that you guys want me to show you, like if there's a trade that just happened right here and you want me to review it, I can do that. But if you want me to go back like to yesterday, we're not gonna be able to do that today. So yeah, back to what we were discussing earlier. Just make sure that you have enough so that you can actually get the free retry if you needed to. So thanks, Maria, for confirming too. So scrolling up real quick. Yeah, Bethany was talking about the vitamins and whatnot. And I have to say that, Bethany, it looks like you really know what you're talking about here. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this that you wrote here. I'll read it later when we're not on the live. Nice. Oh, nice, cool. So I'm assuming you're a pharmacist, or I don't know, maybe not a pharmacist, something close to it. But yeah, no, definitely great info there. I'm always looking to keep my health on 100, but I don't know, it's weird. I don't really get sick very often, but this cold has been lingering. All right, anyways, there's not really much else here, guys. I'm still looking for trades here. Price is pretty much doing what it's been doing all day. If you see the range here from earlier, prices, I mean, literally just been ranging. Range is getting tighter, but it's still ranging. So there's not too much going on here. I'll do it here on the clean chart because this clean chart probably help identify better. That one right here. Right there. Right here. And another one right there. Let me turn off these high lows. So as you guys can see from this point, there's not really much going on. Price is pretty much just ranging back and forth between these areas. Looks like the sell-off is starting to happen right here. This is why I was telling people not to take any buys, because I do anticipate price to sell off at some point. It might not happen right now, but I think eventually it'll come back down to opening price. If you guys missed my analysis on this, the reason why I think price is going to come down, the main reason is that we're going into a long weekend. So when you go into a long weekend, basically everybody wants to clear out all their positions so they don't have to be holding this over the weekend in case something crazy happens. In case another war breaks out or Russia decides to attack the US or something like that, that'll cause price to like move very volatile, right? It's going to move violently up or down. So a lot of people don't want to risk that. So they just sell off and then they just re-enter the market on Tuesday when the market reopens for the weekend. So that's my speculation as to why I think price is going to come down. However, there's conflicting analysis here because we do have our daily entry here, which is still running. This can still probably push up even higher, hit TP, and then it can drop from that point, right? That's why, like, I'm not really looking to take anything too risky because you can get caught on the wrong side very easily. Like people here starting to chase the sells, and then you get a fake out to the upside. Price might push right back up to this area, and then it can like come right back down. So the problem with this here is that you don't have a clear direction. Biden is still speaking right now as well. So I wouldn't even want to trade right now to begin with. I don't even know what he's talking about, nor do I really care. It's probably going to cause price to go lower. So we're going to just watch it and see where it goes. Also, the retail sentiment here is not very strong. It's 51% long. So pretty neutral. It's probably going to shift again next week. That's my guess. Let me check the news real quick. I want to see if there's anything going on next week. It's actually NFP week. Okay, so I just realized next week is the first month or the first week of June. So we do have NFP on Friday. So next week, there's going to be a lot of volatility. You're going to see a lot of push in price. There's Fed member Waller speaking on Monday. Doesn't matter because it's the market's closed. It's Memorial Day weekend. There's news here on Tuesday. CB consumer confidence, Chicago PMI, HPI, S&P composite 20 HPI. There's news like pretty much every day. Monday, we're not going to be trading, but Fed member Waller is going to be speaking. Tuesday, there's more news. Wednesday, there is going to be manufacturing PMI, unemployment rates. Thursday, there's going to be non-farm employment change, unemployment claims, non-farm, et cetera, just stuff like that regarding NFP. And then Friday's actual NFP. So right now you don't see much of a bias, but tomorrow, next week, I'm going to expect a lot of bias. For one, it's going to be a holiday week that we're coming back from. Also, it's going to be NFP. So we're not going to trade Monday. We only have Tuesday to Friday, and Friday's going to be pretty crazy. Like Thursday, Friday's pretty crazy normally. So just something to keep in mind. Here we go. As price drops lower. Looks like the sell-off has already started beginning. However, it's not one that I would really want to play around with in the market. Yeah, Rick said possible liquidity push down. I can see that. That's why I'm looking for this part right here. I'm not really looking to take any trades around this area as price starts to drop lower. I'm looking for this right here. Like I'm looking for just one sniper entry, basically. Looking for price to get to this liquidity. And when price hits that, I can just enter a sell for a quick little push because we have a lot of space right here. I technically probably go for like 200 pips, but to be safe, I'll probably just go for 100. And then if it drops below there, I'll just collect my profits and call it a day. But until price gets to that point, I'm not just going to be messing around this area over here. Squeeze is starting to get tighter. Let's go over here to the clean markups. All right, so price is starting to range here on the 10-minute as well. So created a low right there, and then price is probably going to go sideways at this moment. All right, it's 6:48 right now. It's about 12 minutes till 8, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep on this chat for a little bit. If I don't see anything good come up anytime soon, then we'll probably just wrap it up for the week. The last thing you guys want to do is FOMO into a trade, right? You guys already made a lot of profit this week. The last thing you want to do is take something risky just because you feel the need to take a trade. And the trade addiction is real, guys. Like a lot of people joke around about trade addiction. It's a real thing. I know from personal experience, I'm sure you guys know as well. This is why I try to teach you guys good habits. When I cut off at 8 o'clock, that's usually it for me. I don't keep trading until like noon or anything like that, even though I know a lot of you guys still do. Like for today, I'm going to advise you guys that you guys shouldn't trade because it's Friday. You're going to have a sell-off with people exiting the market for the weekend. You're gonna get a lot of manipulation in price all throughout the session. And I'm gonna tell you guys not to take a trade. However, I know there's gonna be a good handful of you guys who are still trading. And then I'm gonna get some DMs later today, like, oh, Sean, I should have just stopped trading. I should have listened to you. And you guys know who you are. It happens every week. It doesn't matter how much I try to warn you guys not to trade. A lot of you guys will still trade. And then I'm gonna get DMs from you guys later saying that you should have just listened and not traded. So maybe today that'd be a good time to actually follow and not trade. The reason for that's because I just don't see a bias here. So for example, if we had a bias here, like if this was like 65% long and this was red and the heat map was red, then okay, go ahead and trade because you have an overall bias. Right now, we don't have an overall bias. Plus, it's a holiday weekend. Plus, people are going to sell off. So that's why I would recommend that you guys probably just sit it out. You guys just got to remember that you guys gotta have discipline and consistency. You guys got to understand when it's not a good time to trade and when it is a good time to trade. For me, I don't think it's a good time to trade, so that's why I'm sitting it out. But if there was better biases, then I would continue trading. Akil said, "What is your settings on trend meter? Mine looks different from yours." So, Akil, if you're scalping, then you want to set all of these to a chart. So basically right here, you probably have your set to default setting. So if you reset it to default, this is going to be the intraday settings. So this is what the trend is overall for like the entire day for, the next couple days. This is kind of what it's looking like. If you want to just scalp, just change all of these to chart and it'll give you the overall trend for right now specifically. So right now, this is the specific trend on the 10-minute time frame. That's the same thing on the 1 minute. Have these all set the same as chart or chart, whichever one yours says. And that's all you leave it to if you're scalping. Because with scalping, you don't really care like what happens like 4 hours or a day from now, right? You just care what's happening right now, like right now specifically. So that's why you would just change it to a chart. David said there was a V3 right here, but it's right at the news price. So I wouldn't have taken that trade. So there's a V3 right here. I'll mark it up for you and I'll show you exactly why I wouldn't take this trade. So there's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't take this trade here. So going over here real quick, let me put up the requirements for the V3. So there's a couple things here that were not met. For one, we don't have an overall bias, so you can't move on to the next step. Even if you were to skip that right there, we also don't have the minimum stop loss. You need a minimum stop loss of 300 pips. This stop loss right here is 170 pips, which, I mean, it's a risky trade because when you enter the trade, you have a spread of 110 pips. So technically when you enter this, your entry is going to be like way up here. Also, lastly, the red flag here is that it's at news price. That pink line right there. So there's like 3 really big red flags here. No overall bias, minimum stop loss isn't met, and price is at news price. So main reasons why I wouldn't have taken this as a V3. And a reason why it's not, it wouldn't be classified as an official V3 because of these up here. Like the requirements have to be met before it can be considered like an actual entry. No problem, Maria and Lorraine. Yeah, so both of you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday. Other than that, I think that might be it, guys. Let's see. Brian said, y'all have a great weekend. Rest up, relax, come back next week and get the monies. Yeah, definitely. So hopefully everyone had a great week so far trading. If you guys don't have to trade, it'd probably be best for you to just sit it out. For me, I think I'm pretty much done as well. Let's see, Craig said, would you sell from that double liquidity pool right before where price is now? Let's see, possibly. I possibly would, but I would just take it for a quick little push because the thing is, so if I was to enter this right here for a quick push, Craig, I can get in and out pretty quickly right here, right? For like 100 pips. The reason why I would want to do that is because if you go too far, you have the sessions below here, right? So this is why I'd kind of be wary about taking anything bigger. So, but that would be like if it was a regular day. Like today, I probably wouldn't take it because, like I said, it's Friday and it's risky. But if this was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday and market was moving smoothly, then yeah, I would take it. Also, if there was some sort of bias, we just don't have a bias right now. It is it's still 52% long. So if this was 60% long and this was maybe like 100 points in the green, it wasn't like necessarily 200 points, and it looked like price was shifting, then yeah, I would probably take it for a quick little push. Same with this one right here. The only reason I would want this one more is because I feel like this is a better target. The opening price, right? Because price typically goes back to open. For this right here, price can drop, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go down to the sessions, right? That's why I just get in and out. For this right here, I'd probably take this for a bigger push. I'd probably enter this and take this down for maybe like 300 pips, so I can cover the spread. Like this is a better one right here. Yeah, no, definitely. Craig said, I'm trying to get in your mind, see what you would see and trade you would take. Yeah, exactly. The problem with this right here is that I can kind of see this having a bounce too. So just because it hits liquidity right here, I don't see this as a good target. So I can see this do one of two things. It'll either break through slightly or it'll just bounce off it, come back up. And you got to cover the spread. So if you were to enter this trade here, so you want to enter right there, you'd actually be entering a bit higher. Right there. So this is where your entry would be because of the spread. Peter said Craig's trying to like Professor X from X-Men, right? Just trying to get in my mind and learn all these skills. Craig said I have more hair than him. He's Craig's the international Professor X. All right, guys. So it's getting close to 8, guys. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I think we'll be wrapping it up for the session. I don't want you guys to be FOMOing into any trades. So, you know, it's kind of better that we kind of get off the session so that you guys can just call it a week and wrap up this week with profits that you made earlier this week. Well, I didn't really take too many trades. So if you guys look at my trades here, I didn't really take too many. I didn't trade on Monday. Yeah, so Monday I didn't take any trades. Tuesday, I took like one trade, I think. Yeah, I took one trade on Tuesday. I didn't trade on Thursday. Or wait, I didn't trade on Monday. I traded on Tuesday. I didn't trade on Wednesday. I took like one trade. Or actually, I didn't trade yesterday either. Yeah, I barely made anything this week. I made a decent profit, but you know, not too much. But it's all about consistency. Like I didn't have any losses this week, so that's a big plus. And then the profits just keep adding up, right? Like if you guys can just stay consistent and not suffer any losses, I think you guys would be perfectly fine. I feel like the problem with a lot of people, not just in K2, but in general, a lot of people know how to make profit, but a lot of people don't know how to save it, right? Like they don't know how to protect their profits, like conserve their capital. They'll make a lot of profits one day, then they'll lose a lot of profits the next day. If you guys can make a lot of profit one day and not take no losses the next day, and then just keep stacking up profits, at the end of the week, it adds up pretty nicely. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys, because it's about consistency, discipline, and being able to repeat the process every week. Like for this week, no losses. Last week, no losses. I had like maybe a couple wins, but no losses. So that's really what's key there. Yeah, no problem. So Craig, yeah, we'll see you next week. Arash, no problem as well. I'll see you next week too. Shannon said, I learned so much this week, a lot less trading. I need to review the strategy and watch some videos. Thank you, Sean. Definitely, Shannon. And that's really the key, guys. It's understanding to identify risky trades. A lot of people like get mad when I identify risky trades because they feel like I kind of sway their thinking. But even though you probably missed a win, you also would have missed a loss if you guys listened to your risk appetite. So other than that, guys, I think this is about it. So have a great weekend. Just a reminder, it is a long weekend. So we will not be trading on Monday. It's a holiday, Memorial Day here in the US. So the US30 market will be closed. I'll probably be on the chat to talk with you guys and hang out and stuff. But other than that, I think we're going to be off the lives until Tuesday. So unless you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out through email or Telegram. But otherwise, we'll be back on Tuesday and then do this all over again for the next week. Again, next week is NFP, so just be careful trading next week. I know some of you guys are going to try to trade on Tuesday, on Sunday when market opens, and then maybe even Monday on the holiday. But you guys want to be careful because it is a holiday, plus it is NFP. So have a great weekend, everybody.